let's just start with when's the last time that you actually talked to Erin?
Why does that matter?
When's the last time you talked to her?
Why does that matter? No, I'm asking, why does that matter?
This is Brant Williams and his wife, Erin Mulcahy. Calling their marriage on the rocks would be a massive understatement.
I didn't want to be with Brent because he started to hit me and I don't want to be hit anymore.
When did he hit you last?
I'm afraid to tell you.
Just months after that encounter with law enforcement, the troubled marriage of Brant Williams and Erin Mulcahy came to a tragic end. Erin was found dead. At first, it seemed like a tragic accident, but as investigators dug deeper, a darker truth began to surface, and the quiet town of Waynesville, Ohio was about to face something it hadn't seen in nearly 60 years. The investigation began on July 7th with a horrifying discovery.
What's going on?
Pretty sure she's been in there for 2 days, probably.
Okay. In this apartment here?
Yeah.
Erin
In the
Mulcahy?
shower, yeah.
Okay.
Brent and his dad was here the other day.
Okay, but they
In the
haven't.
evening, and she was in the shower then.
Okay,
I
yeah.
heard the water running, and I looked underneath
see.
the floor, and water was running out.
Running out. And so she's in here?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, definitely. Rigor mortis has already set in. Okay, I'll have you guys step out here because I'm going to have to get some pictures and things like that. So she's in the shower. Rigor's set in. Last time anybody saw her was a few days ago. Still getting some additional information on all that. Brent was here, her ex-boyfriend or whatever was here a couple days ago. And
Got your footprint on there?
no, that might be one of the guys coming from one of the landlords. They were coming in and redoing the apartment next door. They heard water running. And when Brent was here, supposedly the other day, he said that he heard water running, but they said there was water all the way. It was flooded all the way out here. So,
We're not even going to approach because it's
right,
clear.
right, yeah, exactly. So,
We'll preserve the scene for you. And
okay, all right. Well, I appreciate that.
footprints too. So my
Right.
footprints right there.
Yeah, your footprints right here. I'm going to talk to these guys and make sure they came in and shut the water off, but they're the ones that found her, so I would presume that.
Erin's neighbors grew uneasy after hearing water running nonstop from her apartment. It could have been nothing, but their instincts told them otherwise. They contacted the landlord, who tried calling Brant for permission to enter. No answer, so he reached out to Brent's father, who arrived shortly after to check on Erin. But instead of a plumbing issue, they made a chilling discovery. Erin's body slumped in the shower. The worst part, she had been there for several days. At first glance, it looked like a tragic accident. No stab wounds, no obvious injuries, no signs of a break-in. Given Erin's known struggle with alcohol addiction, that seemed like the likely explanation. But the officer on scene remembered something else. Her deeply troubled marriage with Brant, and there could be more to this case than first appeared.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. I've got to get.
Actually, you know what? I do know what that is. That's a nose hair.
Oh, okay. History of alcohol,
Oh,
alcoholism,
yeah.
and things like
Usually
that.
we
So,
come in
but I've got to investigate this as something beyond that because there has been domestic history and things like that. So, all right. Howdy.
To learn more, the officer spoke with Brent's father. He revealed that Brant and Erin's marriage was falling apart. It wasn't just tension, it was nearing a full collapse. Suddenly, Erin's death didn't seem so accidental after all.
Let's just start, I guess, from the beginning. When was the last, prior to today, when was the last time you were actually in this apartment?
Thursday.
Thursday? And was anyone with you when you went in?
Brent and I went in there.
Okay. And what happened on Thursday?
Brent needed to get his checks, extra checks, out of there because he didn't know what Erin was going to do.
Okay.
And he wanted me to come along because we're witness.
Sure. Makes
Don't
sense.
Go in.
Yeah.
We hear the shower running.
Mhm.
We think she's in the shower. He gets his checks. We leave.
Okay.
We come out here. We run into Gina standing right out here. And we said that we told him exactly what we done. We went in to get them checks and stuff. And he said, I talked to Erin the other day.
Who was this that you were talking to?
The guy that owns the place.
Oh yeah. Okay. I gotcha.
He said Thursday, late afternoon, early evening, he said, I had talked to her yesterday, told her to get out. And that's about all that was said.
Okay.
He went his way. We did too. Earlier today, Brent went up and got some mail, and he said it had Aaron's name on it. And he didn't want to bring it out here because he was afraid of trouble.
Sure.
Arguments.
Sure. Yeah.
So I said, well, just leave it there. I'll take it out. We're on our way up here.
Sure.
And he calls me
Okay.
and said that he had to get in there.
Okay.
He told me about the water running, so he shut it off.
Okay. Before you guys made entry, he shut the water off? Okay.
So when I go in there, the bathroom door's closed. I beat on it. I open it up, and I thought I seen her laying on the floor there through the glass door.
Okay.
And then Jim called, you got this.
Did you actually walk into the bathroom?
I did.
You did? Okay. Okay. How long had they been split up, do you know, roughly?
What is today, Saturday?
Today's Saturday, yeah.
Monday, of last week. I don't know for sure.
Okay, so it's just been recent?
Very
recent? Okay.
Brent's father also revealed that he and Brant had visited the apartment 2 days earlier. They heard the shower running, but never saw her, and so they couldn't confirm if she was alive. Meanwhile, Aaron's own father had his own theory. After years of struggling with her alcohol addiction and mental health issues, he wasn't entirely surprised by her early death. To him, it felt tragic but not unexpected.
Tom's father.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
I've known him for years from church and stuff like that.
Okay.
And, he was telling me that Aaron has had kind of struggled with alcohol,
Yes.
some seizures,
Right.
stuff like that. Is there?
She was bipolar too?
Bipolar.
Schizophrenic?
Yeah.
I remember her telling me that. As you know, I've been here
I know
many
they've had
times.
issues
We've
going
sure,
on and
it's
on.
been
Yeah,
it's
I
been
know,
back and
it's an
forth.
ongoing
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't been here. I told them, wait, when you guys get your act together, then
Sure.
we'll start acting like a regular family.
Sure.
Busting and fighting, I'm not getting involved.
Right.
Because there was one to get me in the middle of it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Absolutely.
But Aaron's father also shared a crucial detail, one that could help police trace her final movements and possibly unlock the truth behind her mysterious death.
And I know she'd had seizures on and off, but I didn't know that they were, how bad they were lately. I mean,
Sure.
she'd been having something lately. I just talked to her 2 days ago.
You did?
Yeah.
On the phone?
On
Okay.
the phone. So
Do you have date and time? A date we
I
can.
could look at my phone.
Okay.
Phone, yeah.
Okay. If we could get that, that'd be great.
Okay.
We're just trying to paint a picture as to how we got to where we're at right now. So.
Right. I understand.
It was possible Aaron hadn't been taking her medication and may have suffered a seizure in the shower, leading to her sudden death. If her father had spoken to her by phone in the last few days, the timing of that call could be key, helping detectives narrow down her time of death and piece the puzzle together.
Hey, Brent, can we talk to you for a few minutes? Yes, sir. All right.
Fortunately, Brant arrived at the scene and appeared more than willing to cooperate with investigators, at least for now.
At this point in time, everything's fine, and we're just here to talk and try to get this figured out. Okay. Yes. So that's why we're here.
Well, let's just start with when's the last time that you actually talked to Erin?
Sunday.
Sunday?
I moved out Sunday.
You moved out on Sunday? Okay.
Yeah.
Was it kind of a heated argument or
Nope.
just
Nope.
she just said get your stuff and go?
I did.
Oh,
I
you
did.
just
I just my dad came with me.
okay.
Got my clothes.
Uh-huh.
Pulled out.
Okay.
Went to stayed that night.
Okay. All right. And did she say anything to you when you left or nothing at all?
No, I just said I was very quiet about it. My dad was with me. He'll vouch that I got my clothes, didn't say a word to her,
Sure.
and got out.
Okay.
So far, there was no indication that Brant or his father were hiding anything. Brant insisted he'd only entered the house briefly and had no direct contact with Aaron, just a text message. But then, out of nowhere, Brent's father dropped a bombshell, a detail so unexpected, it sent up an immediate red flag detectives couldn't ignore.
Did you guys have any conversation
Nope.
after that? You hadn't talked to her at all since
Text
Sunday?
her. Text her. Yeah, you
Okay.
can only read the text.
Um,
You're more than welcome.
yeah,
to.
we can. Yeah, that's
I
fine.
really don't bother me.
Okay.
Remember, Brent, I said don't volunteer. Answer questions, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
It might have been just a cautious parent. Brant was calm and cooperative, agreeing to everything. But sometimes, one small slip is all it takes to change everything.
One other thing that I would like to do, and here again, this is just to eliminate you from any wrongdoing, is I was wondering if you would be willing to give a voluntary DNA sample. Like
For my
swab,
mouth.
yeah, swab,
I'm
yeah.
willing to do that.
Yeah, okay, all right, perfectly. That's absolutely perfect. So I got a consent form here. I'll fill that out and then I'll have you sign it, and then we'll just get a swab from your cheeks and boom, done. It's pretty simple. It's pretty,
Okay.
if that's okay with
Sounds
you.
like a plan.
But when asked for his phone, Brant hesitated. His cooperation suddenly vanished.
So are you saying that you really don't want to give up your phone at this time then?
Well, I don't want to give my phone. I don't have no reason to give up my phone. You've seen all the information I got on my phone.
Okay.
I get calls. I might need calls from my parents.
No, I
I mean,
understand
you're
that.
cool. He's okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we asked. I mean,
Okay.
it's, you know,
I mean, I'm not trying to hide anything.
Yeah.
I just don't want to give it up.
Do you mind if I get pictures of those text messages?
Brent's hesitation raised red flags. There might have been something on his phone he didn't want police to see, but they'd have to wait to find out. In the meantime, Waynesville police reviewed body cam footage from one of several past visits to the couple's home. Just like this earlier incident, the arguments almost always began with Aaron's drinking.
hi,
No, hi, how are you?
what's going on?
She left? She left? I didn't know what the situation was when she came back. I don't want to go to jail. She put me in jail once. And there she is, intoxicated as hell.
Okay. You think you're drunk?
I have drank
Okay, yeah, I can tell. When did you start today?
earlier today. I don't know exactly.
You on any probation right now?
No.
Are you on any medication?
I take trazodone for sleep.
You taking it today?
No.
I tell you, I'm going to fix this issue. I'm going to my mom's.
Okay.
I'm going to get out of here. That's why I called.
No, yeah, and that's the right thing to do. You live here, right?
We both do. We're married. So I'm allowed to live here. And he is, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah, especially if my dad pays my rent.
yeah, there hasn't been any other than verbal argument. That's all.
Been an argument.
No, there hasn't been an argument. Okay.
We
That's why
argue.
you're here. That's why
Okay.
you're here before something happens.
Okay. Well, I can't
I understand.
I can't stay here all night
I understand.
and wait until. So what's the plan then?
I'm going to get my stuff. I'm going out.
Okay. Are you doing that now or?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I can stand by while you do that.
Can you do me a favor? No,
What's that?
I know you're a busy guy and everything, but can you drive by here once in a while? Because last time I was up, there was a guy here,
Okay.
and I'm worried about my
Who
stuff.
cares?
And I'm worried about my stuff.
Okay.
If you and I are not being together ever again, leave me the hell alone.
Have you filed for divorce yet?
Yeah, I went to
Despite Aaron's past threats, the couple had broken up and reconciled several times over the following months. But with no forensics, no solid leads, and nothing to go on, police had one option left: convince Brant to hand over his phone. Whether it would clear him or incriminate him, they needed something. But the conversation didn't go as planned.
Man,
How you doing?
it's been horrible. I'm gonna get a robe on. I got my pajamas on.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Just to the bird. Are you looking for Brent?
Living the dream. We are. Is he here?
No, he's in line.
Okay.
Is he?
Okay.
Okay. Is there any way you could get a hold of him or have him come back down here? Because I'd like to talk to him again, if that's okay, real quick.
Well, yeah, but it's not going to be real quick. He's in line.
No, I understand that.
Why are you wanting to talk to him again?
Right.
There's just a few more things that we'd like to talk to him about from, Saturday night when we talked and whatnot.
Okay, you got me on it.
Okay.
You got his mother on it.
Okay.
You better come across with something, buddy, because I'm thinking my son's going to jail, and you better straight help me out on this. And I'm damn serious.
Okay. He's not going to jail.
Okay. You sure of that?
No, he's not going to jail.
Okay. Then I'm going to call him.
Yeah. No.
Because I'm
Is he
about
gonna
ready
be
to fall
charged
over
with
here.
something?
Do
No.
what?
Is he gonna be charged with something?
No, we're still trying to figure out exactly what's
Still
going
trying
on.
to get this figured out, okay?
With no sign of Brant, the officers were left to deal with his increasingly hostile parents, who were intent on questioning every step of the investigation.
Because there are some loopholes that we're trying to get those loopholes filled up. That's what we're trying to do.
I'm about ready to pass out here.
Okay.
I am
Because you're
too.
working me up. And I know you're not doing this and all this.
How am I working with, sir?
Because my son is in on this and you're asking more questions about him.
And she's
Wouldn't you
dead.
be concerned about him?
Right.
You wouldn't be concerned about your son? Wouldn't you?
We've been a mess.
I understand that, and that's why we're trying to
Come and
get.
sit down.
That's why we're trying to get
Well,
everything.
we can sit
figured out.
down here.
When I left down there the other day talking to you, I felt pretty good.
Right.
And then you come back and lay this on me. Well, and that fella right there told me the same, give me the same feeling.
Right. Well, and when what I tried to explain is all we're trying to do now is, you know, whenever you have a conversation with somebody, you go back and you think, oh gosh, I wish I would ask this question, or I wish I.
You say that when you come in.
Well,
You were secretive, like I gotta talk to him, and I understand that you got to talk to him, but you got to understand we're living through this.
sure, absolutely.
Well, I understand
You
that.
got children,
No, I do not.
but you're lucky.
The situation wasn't improving, and the cops' very presence seemed to be making things worse, with Brent's father on the verge of losing control.
No, we're really all we're trying to do is fill in some gaps. You know, we had some questions.
You pissing me off.
Glenn, I don't understand why you're upset.
I do. You're acting like you're going to try and put my son in jail. That's what I'm thinking. Tell me if I'm wrong.
You're not. You're wrong. I am not. I have no intention on putting your son in jail, but
I'm scared to death you are.
we have an obligation to figure out what took place as well. And there's a couple more questions that we have for him. And the reason we came here is because this is where he is living. If he wasn't living here, we would go to where he lived.
With no progress and Brant refusing to budge, officers decided to back off, shifting their focus elsewhere in hopes of finding answers. And then, they got them. The autopsy report came back, and the results were far worse than anyone expected. Erin had been strangled. She also had blood in her mouth, likely from being punched or struck. For the first time since 1959, Waynesville police officially opened a homicide investigation. Armed with the autopsy results and a warrant for Brent's phone, officers returned to the Williams residence. Brant was home, but just like before, the reception was cold and tense. Nothing had changed except the stakes.
Morning. How you doing? Okay, wonderful.
What can we do for you?
So how you doing this morning? Great. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Is this being recorded?
All conversations I have are recorded. Yeah.
So, okay.
Why weren't we told that?
Because
It's not an obligation to let you guys. No, we're not keeping anything from you guys.
Okay. We're getting legal counsel. Here is William Clue.
Okay.
I'm calling him today.
okay, we don't. We've got his number. We don't need his
Yeah,
number.
you didn't tell us this is it. I'm done.
You're scaring us.
Yeah, you're scaring us. When I saw his phone, I knew.
Actually, I was checking the time. I was actually checking the time, but
Legal
So,
counsel.
I mean, no, that's fine. You know, this is how we do everything.
You should have told us.
Okay. We're not obligated to let you know. I mean,
It's been nice if you would have said that to him.
okay.
just like if you get pulled over on the side of the road, you're being recorded always. The cruiser cam and everything
We're
else. I
getting
mean,
legal counsel on
That's fine.
this
That's absolutely not a problem.
today.
no problem.
That's not a problem.
You should have let us know that.
Okay.
No, you're not being fair.
Okay. Well, that's fine.
You're not being
You
fair.
want to stay? I'm going to call Pete real quick.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Why are you calling Pete?
Hey. Yes, sir.
Why are you calling Pete?
Calling.
Who you?
I'm calling the other detective.
Why?
He's got some paperwork to give to Brent real quick. Okay.
No, I'm not gonna fill it out with that legal.
No. That's
No, it's not about filling it out.
not a problem. I'll be right back.
You guys are not doing us fair. You're not treating us fair, but.
I can't apologize for coming here at 9 at night.
Yeah, but
I really can't.
he said that this was not, he's not going to arrest my son.
We are
That
not.
could wait till today.
We are not arresting him. Did you have anything else?
One thing's for sure, all four of you has got me scared. All for it. I'm scared.
Like I said,
I haven't slept.
the only thing we're trying to do is trying to figure out and run every answer, question, anything down that we can to figure out what, because it's not right.
My son's going through his wife's funeral, and you guys are putting taking his phone.
What him of all people, at some point, would say, you guys did everything you could.
Well,
I know it doesn't seem that way now.
The thing is, we all know in our hearts why that lady died.
Why did she die?
Because she did alcohol.
Despite the huge effort to get Brent's phone, the search turned up nothing incriminating. No threats, no signs he planned to harm Erin. So detectives turned their attention to Erin's phone. Records showed she made a final call on July 5th, then went silent. Brant told police he texted her that same night, but she never replied. It was starting to look like July 5th was the night Erin Mulcahy was killed. But everything changed when police spoke to one of Erin's close friends. That's when a new name came up, a man named Jimmy. Erin had met him through an online dating app, which she had joined behind Brent's back. Their relationship, secret, illicit, and now, possibly deadly.
I was wondering if you could help me out. I actually am coming to you for some help if you don't mind.
Depends.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna give you a name. And you're probably gonna think I'm here for another reason, but I'm not here for that reason, okay? So can I give you that name? Aaron McCauley.
There's a clear reason why police were treading carefully with Jimmy. After he and Erin slept together, she later accused him of sexual assault, an investigation that was still ongoing at the time of her death. Given the circumstances, it was understandable for police to see Jimmy as a potential suspect. He had a possible motiving a history with Erin, but Jimmy was firm. He denied the assault and claimed he hadn't been in contact with Erin since. Now, detectives were left questioning, was Jimmy telling the truth or hiding something worse?
I don't know if you have heard, but she has passed away.
No, I didn't know. I haven't spoken to her.
What I would like to know is how you met her. Online? Okay. Do you remember what dating website that was?
Plenty of Fish.
Plenty of Fish? Okay.
Jimmy cooperated fully and gave a DNA sample. Cops no longer saw him as a suspect. And just like that, the case was back to square one. Just as the case seemed to hit a dead end, police got a tip from someone new in Brent's life. What she revealed blew the case wide open. Her name was Tiffany, and she met Brant after they connected on a dating site.
He wanted to meet up with me last weekend, and I kept telling him I had to work.
Okay.
Well, then he kept texting me and calling me, so I finally got back a hold of him, and then we were just texting. So we met yesterday over at Shawnee Reed Road, but he started talking about his wife dying. I'm like, okay, I thought maybe it happened, a while ago. But the more and more talk, I said, so how long ago did it happen? Oh, it's not been 2 weeks yet. My first reaction was, are you serious? I mean, if my husband died, and I'm a widow, I wouldn't be worried about being on these chat lines and doing this whatever,
Tiffany's description of Brent's cold, emotionless attitude toward his late wife immediately raised red flags for investigators. But the worst was yet to come. Tiffany would go on to single-handedly help crack one of Waynesville's most brutal cases by revealing Brent's true motive for killing Erin.
But the way he said it was weird as hell.
What did he say?
We were just sitting there, and he was talking about, he's got to get this on in his life. I said, we don't have to rush this. Even though I wasn't trying to be, I just talked to him. I said, we don't have to rush this. I said, because you need to grieve for your dead wife. I said, most people are. He goes, well, I was done, I already grieved. He goes, I didn't even care before she died. I've been okay with this. He's like, I'm ready to move on. And then he's all happy about getting a check in the mail for her death. The way he said it, he was like, weird. He said, well, I'm waiting for a check in the mail. I said, for what? And he said, life insurance. And I said, well, you took one? He's like, yeah, I took one out on her. He's like, I knew she was gonna die. I said, well,
did he say how much?
$25,000?
As if cashing in on his wife's life insurance wasn't suspicious enough, Brand had taken out the policy just 5 weeks before Aaron's death, and just as things couldn't get any worse for him, DNA evidence officially cleared Jimmy of any involvement. With motive, timeline, and key evidence in hand, police finally had what they needed to arrest Brant Williams.
Hey, Con, take it easy. He doesn't know about signing for the arrested too, all right?
What the hell?
I don't care what he's got. You're better. I'll tell you something right now, sir. All right, go.
He did not do this. He did not.
My arm hurts. Stop this. Come on, put me on your
First of all, you're arresting me when I didn't do nothing wrong. That's fine.
Let's go. Let's go to jail.
Brant Williams was officially charged with Aaron Mulcahy's murder, and his trial was held in the Glades County Common Pleas Court. He waived his right to a jury, putting his fate entirely in the hands of a judge. With a clear motive via life insurance payout and key DNA evidence, the verdict was swift. Brant Williams was found guilty and sentenced to 15 years to life in prison.